So today's question is, what is time? A lot of us take time for granted. You might not even have asked yourself this question before. But if you do ask it, it's kind of difficult to answer. One of the first philosophy papers I wrote in college was on the topic of time. And I read just about everything I could find. I read a lot of Greek philosophers, the pre-Socratics. I remember Heraclitus said, "You can't step in the same river twice. Looks like the same river, but it's always a different river." Right? Hume makes a similar argument. So what is time? We seem to think that there's a past, a present, and a future, and we don't tend to think we have access to the future. The past is a memory, and the present is just so hard to grasp. Where is the present? It's here. Nope, now it's gone. It's here. Nope, now it's gone. But we have this notion of time that's linear, that it goes, from left to right, from past to present to future. But is that true? What if that's not true? What if time isn't linear? What if time is cyclical? What if it goes in a circle and then it keeps spiraling, repeating itself? People say history always repeats itself. What if everything repeats itself in these long spirals such that we don't actually realize that we're repeating ourselves? In physics, time is something that really hasn't been worked out well. So, Einstein was trying to get at what is time. And people are still trying to figure out, what is time beyond being just kind of this independent variable that we have no control over. There's, of course, been all these people wanting to create time machines. How do we manipulate time? How do we override time? What if time's an illusion? What if there really is no such thing as time? There's a philosopher named McTaggart I studied years ago who made that argument. And I tended to agree with him. What he said was that we really create time in our minds as a way of making sense of things that we couldn't otherwise make sense of. So let's suppose everything is happening at the same time. It would be very difficult for us to process that, for our brains to process that. So if our childhood and our adolescence and our adulthood and our old age are all happening at the same time, how would we make sense of that with our minds? So what some philosophers like McTaggart have argued is that our mind orders events. So the events out in the world are not really ordered, but our little brains put them in order so that we can kind of process them one at a time. A lot of us do that with problems in our life, right? If we have several problems, we don't say, let me take on all my problems at once. We say, well, first I'm going to deal with this problem, then I'm going to move on to this problem. Mm-hmm. So is it possible that our minds just are ordering things in a certain way? And then what does that mean about the nature of time? What if everything really is all happening at the same time? What if our past is our present and our future is our present, and it's just a matter of our perspective or our limited ability to view the past and the future? It might explain why we have psychics who can predict the future. It might explain why some people can remember their past lives. It's possible that our current lives and our past lives and our future lives are all happening at the same time. Think about that. If that's happening, if it's already happened, what's happening has already happened, then what does that mean for your life?